right, so if you have a towel or a belt or a yoga strap, have that handy. We'll begin seated. We're going to move our flesh. So remember, when you sit, whenever we sit on our sits bones. That's wherever you're sitting. Even in prep for a stretch. So when you sit down on the floor to prepare, we want to get up on those sits bones so that we're not crunching on that tailbone. For this, we're going to have one foot in front of the other, one heel in front of the shin bone, and the other heel is going to be in front, close to the pubic bone. So this is just going to open up those hips a little bit more as we move. And I want you to feel very loose, very, take your time. If you're tight, then take your time, don't force anything, just settle into this for a moment. Remember, once you're on your sits bones, what has to activate is the core. So imagine that you have a zipper at your perineum deep down in the pelvic floor and you're zipping up. You don't want to be forceful or that you can't breathe, but you want to be active, activating those muscles, just weaving that. That's what's going to hold you up rather than your back. So if your back's really tight and uncomfortable there, try to turn on that front center and glutes. See if that helps. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is just go forward bend. And we're going to lead with our chest, and then we'll follow it up with the nose going forward. So this is going to stretch through the hips. You can even just gently put your elbows, forearms on your thighs. And then once you've gone as far forward as you feel comfortable and your sits bones are remaining even on the floor, you can then follow that through with the chin coming to the chest, as if you're trying to bring your nose to your toes. We don't want to round or crunch in here. We still want to keep this long. And as we go forward, you're going to feel a lot of the stretch coming through those hips all the way out, maybe even to the knees. You might feel this gentle stretch. And of course, we're breathing, taking our deep breaths. Shoulders are staying relaxed, neck is staying relaxed. You're never needing to force anything. We're allowing the body. We're really just being open to allowing and breathing. And then as you come back up, start with your center. Remember, we always activate the powerhouse to move our body. And then as we come up tall again, check your sits bones, and we're going to rotate our torso. So whatever side you go to, we'll end up going to both sides, so don't worry about which side you're going to. We're going to rotate, still staying on the sits bones, and now we're activating a little bit more of the muscle that comes across, quadratus lumborum across, that tends to get very tight. So you're going to feel the stretch coming opposite, but you'll also feel the internal massage on those organs. Same type of thing, keep your sits bones down, keep your shoulders relaxed, and lengthen your chest as if you're reaching your chest forward first. Once you've gone as far as you can, keeping the sits bones on the floor, don't let either one of them come off. Once you've gone as far as you can that's comfortable, it's going right out to that edge to feel the stretch, then you can add the chin to the chest or the forehead coming towards the floor, towards the knee. Once again, though, you're not crunching or collapsing. We're thinking elongation, creating more extension, creating more space. Find your breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And we'll go ahead and come up and go to the other side. So we'll rotate. Once again, we're still tall. We're keeping those sits bones. If you're really tight or there's something going on in the hips, then don't force it. You don't have to make this a big turn. You want to keep alignment first. That's our first principle. Keep alignment in, activation of the correct sequence of muscles, and then find where the mobility needs to come from. So right here, we're still in a nice zipped up, stable activation at the core, but we're creating lengthening, stretching through the hip, glute, all of the muscles that are attached back through here and through the hips, and getting some nice circulation through there. Deep breath. And you can follow through by bringing your chin to your chest, nose towards the floor. Not so much knee, because I don't want you to get into rounding so much right now. That's going to be for a different posture. And then coming back up, activating always from your center, from your center. That's what you want to move from. Then the rest of the body floats from that center, from that strong powerhouse. All right, so now we're going to extend the legs out in between that work, and we will have the other leg in front, but I wanted to extend the legs out to give them just a moment to extend and feel all of that circulation in through the hips. You're probably going to notice a difference in the side that was forward. The leg that was forward will probably feel more like you got a little bit of a deeper stretch, and that is exactly the intention. Okay, so once again, we're up on our sits bones, and I'm going to turn to the side so you can see how I'm doing this. So lifting those sits bones up, we're up on the sits bones. We're going to do a dorsal flexion. So that means just the toes are facing towards your nose. If you are very, very tight in those hamstrings, you can go ahead and soften those knees, but don't change the sits bones. Don't go back onto the tailbone. We're still really working on loosening up these tight hamstrings. Trying to push them down and then taking your whole body out of alignment because of tight hamstrings is not the way to go. So you want to get alignment first and then look for creating more improvement in your flexibility from that correct alignment first. So I'm going to use the towel. You can use your strap, whatever you like. If you are not able to reach with the legs straight, keep the knees bent, and you can go through that. But what we're going to do is create active resistance. So you want to have the towel there. If you didn't have anything, you could get a little bit of the active resistance, but here's what we're doing. We're resetting the spindle or resetting the tension on our muscles. So you want to make sure that your abdominal chain is on. That means you're zipped up. If you've ever worked with me, you know I'm always talking about you've got to have that zip up on the center. If you do not, when you're sitting, this back will have to take over. So you have to be aware of that. The glutes are on. Anytime you practice, I hope that you take that as a takeaway, that the powerhouse must be on. And it has to be intentional and mindful. You need to be aware of it first. A lot of folks are just not aware of that. So take your time becoming more and more aware every single time you practice with me. So we'll take that extension. So we've got our extension. Our back is elongated. We're not going into forward bend on this. We are going forward, but not bending. So we're going to create resistance with that towel or your strap. And how we're going to do that is we're going to push gently against. So we're just going to activate, driving the shoulders down and back and pushing through those heels with that dorsal flexion. So we're just going to do that for about 10 seconds. A little bit of resistance, zipping up in your center. We're consciously activating the muscles, and then we're going to relax. And as you do, you're going to notice that you have more flexibility because we're resetting that spindle. And it's a contract release type of practice that you can do to help release bound up muscles that are really tight. So once you've got your basics in, then you can use this. And we do it 2 or 3 times. So we're contracting, we're resisting it. That means we've got activation through the core, through the center. We're activating through the quadricep muscles. So that releases a little bit more through the hamstring. We're pushing through the hamstring, activating through there. And then once you've done that for 10 or 15 seconds and you release, you might find that you are that much more flexible and not so much collapsing in this, but that your muscles have loosened up quite a bit. All right, so that's a beautiful practice. We like doing that in our foundations. And once we've completed that, we're going to go to the other leg that was not in front. So if you can remember which leg was in front, that is now closer in. And then the other leg, heel is in front of that the shin bone. So where we're going to go with this is just like what we did with the other one. And you're going to notice a little bit of a difference because of the activation we just did. Once again, on your sits bones, nice and tall, zipped up. I'm going to drop those shoulders back and down. Keep the head in alignment with the spine. So we want to make sure this head doesn't become a heavy sack of potatoes that our shoulders are carrying around. We want to keep that alignment. Okay, so we're going to go forward first. We stay on our sits bones and active in your core. Active, active, active. And as you come forward, you may notice you are much more flexible. You've got more release allowing in the body. And that's the beautiful tool of that contract release work. Now, if you want to bring your chin dropping to the chest, sits bones stay on the floor. So if you're rolling forward or rocking forward and your sits bones have come off the floor, go ahead and push them back down. You're going to have to activate that pelvic floor, all of those muscles down there in the glutes to keep the sits bones down. Otherwise, you're going forward and we're losing quite a bit of that stretch that we can get. Okay, so let's go to the other side. And we'll go just in that rotation. It's going to stretch across a little bit of that QL, quadratus lumborum, that comes across. And we're nice and tall. And that attaches all across that iliac crest. So this hip bone, all of this tension here, we can help that by going into this nice stretch. Once again, sit bone down, both sides, finding your breath. Shoulders relaxed. Any tension in your jaws or eyes, try to relax them. Try to let your eyes soften. Soft smile on the face. Jaws releasing. Breathing in deeply. Come back up. Come back to center. Rotate to the other side. Lead with the crown of your head. Maybe that's another cue that we could use here so that we're lifting tall. We're not collapsing into our body. Sits bones pressed down, lifting up deep through that zipper, and then you can go forward at your own pace onto that other side. So we're stretching over the leg, bringing the nose towards the knee, breathing in, keeping the shoulders relaxed. We focus on that deep, beautiful breath, staying connected and present to our body. Keeping that communication in, always having a conversation with your body, a gentle conversation. And so that is a beautiful way to create that nice twist there. We can go into an opening with the legs now. So we're going to take those legs and extend, and we're just going to finish with a wide leg stretch. So we'll take the legs wide, and we're going to lift our flesh once again so that we are not being pulled down on our sits bones. On our tailbone, we want to be up on those sits bones, slightly forward. This should be a little looser from our forward bend, and we can go ahead and take this in a gentle way. I'll let you work your own way on through this. If you want to continue, you can go into that rotation, or you can just walk forward and continue just stretching there, finding your breath, being present with your beautiful body. Allowing your time to be yours. This beautiful gift of connecting with our bodies is something we do not want to lose. We want to be able to be in this moment, be quiet with our thoughts, and come into an appreciation, really appreciating our bodies and the gifts that they are, and trusting them, learning to trust, maybe remembering that there is a beautiful connection and conversation, and coming back into that way of trusting. So I'll let you continue this on your own. I wanted to keep this at these shorter bite-size times. And then I will invite you to join me on Wednesday for more of a longer practice. I will continue to do those on Wednesdays and send those out through the YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do get subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can see that when we go live on Wednesdays, where we do a little bit deeper, longer practice, and that allows for us to go a little bit deeper in the work that we do. In the meantime, stay connected to your inner powerhouse, that physical powerhouse, but also that deeper mind powerhouse that is really what our life unfolds from. So you want to ensure that you're connected to that. And we do that by getting quiet, taking the time for ourselves in these types of practices as a way of life. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. If you have a body, you want to take care of it. And our energy is what unfolds to bring us the best in love and our work and what we're here to do. Have a beautiful Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow for our day 11 of the Happy Healthy Holidays with Yogilachi. Peace and blessings.